Hey everybody, and welcome to this week's episode of New Strength Sugar Babes. And today I have with me Anthea, and she lives in New Zealand. She actually works full time and also runs her own business. So I was actually just complimenting her on her skin, on her her lovely skin. So she is extremely busy. And how long have you been in the program now? 14 weeks? Would it be 14? Maybe a little bit longer, maybe.
I don't know. I think it's coming up to the 12 weeks, I think.
12 weeks. I think it's over 12 weeks. I think you're over. Oh, no, it goes so quick, hey?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's been...
And just for the viewers, can you tell them, why you joined the program? Like, what were the issues that you were having and how they affected your life?
Okay. Well, all the issues. Okay, so I, partially due to the job and partially due to personal circumstances, my back was ruined. And so, I've been in and out. I've visited my specialist a couple of times, had MRIs done of my back, saw the damage initially that was done, and narrowly avoided surgery a few years ago. But ever since then, I've had issues probably with core strength mainly, and I stopped being able to do the things that I love doing, like weightlifting at the gym and being able to lift heavy objects. And I have to be able to do that for my job anyway. I have to be able to lift people, so and I got to do it all the time. So I continued going to the gym. Gym and physio were the two things that really helped sort my back out after the injury. But I found after a while, even lifting weights at the gym was a difficult task for me to do, because I just feel twinges of pain in the back, and I didn't know whether to carry on doing weights or not. But the trainers, I had one excellent PT who stuck by me every step of the way, and she really improved my muscle tone. Didn't know too much about diet, so I didn't get a lot of help there, but she really improved my outcome at the gym, and then she left. And then ever since then, I've known the difference between a good PT and a bad PT, or average. And so I didn't get the help that I initially wanted, I think, after she left. So I have been looking everywhere to find excellent trainers who knew what they were talking about. I didn't expect them to be able to help out with the diet, so that's been a bonus with you guys. But just to be able to guide me and coach me back into that weightlifting process slowly, where I felt safe doing it. And I found that really difficult. And I probably visited about 2 or 3 different gyms, and none of them really offered that step-by-step training. They give me a program, go away and do it.
Yeah.
It cost the earth to have me. It cost the earth for me to have them right by me doing it with me every single time I went to the gym, because I was actually too afraid to lift weights with an incorrect technique, in case it did any further damage to my back, because I had nerve root damage. So I've got a weak right leg because of it, and I got pain in my feet and all the rest of it. So I just didn't, any wrong lifts, any wrong anything is just put me off.
Oh, I bet. I think whenever you have an injury, like I broke my arm squatting, I didn't squat for like 8 months. But when you first go back, you're really scared, obviously, because you just don't want to have that pain again. And what about diet-wise? Did you have any issues, sleep, digestion, mood, energy? Were you trying to lose body fat? Or was it just all about the training? Or all of the above?
It was all of the above. And I didn't really know. I didn't know at the time. I just thought, oh, well, I can't take dairy, so that's it. I'll just avoid dairy. And I just kind of haphazardly went through life thinking, oh, well, I don't really react well to that food, so I'll just stop taking it. I didn't realize that, whatever food you're eating reacts with another food that you're eating or whatever. And being a shift worker, I was just used to being extremely tired anyway. So that was just part and parcel of life. But the last 3 years, I haven't really had to do shift work. I've been extremely tired, but for other reasons, work. And so, so I don't have that shift work excuse anymore. There's no reason why I can't get a decent sleep. So I was still having trouble trying to sleep properly and find that energy, and didn't know what I was doing wrong. So... yeah, it's that whole, I think people need a bit of education. Now I see my friends kind of going down the same path that I was going down. Oh, I'm really tired. Oh, I'm really this, I'm really that. And I'm like, oh, well, I've just found this new program and this is what they suggest I do. Oh. And they're like, oh, that's nice.
Oh, I know.
It really does. Look. I used to have loads of afternoon sleeps, and like afternoon sleeps would turn into 2-3 hour sleeps, and then I'd be up till 3 o'clock in the morning working again. It's just this vicious cycle. So I thought, well, this has got to stop.
Yeah.
I didn't really notice anything happening until you guys came on board.
And you talked about obviously all of the different things that you tried in regards to the training to fix your issues, which you couldn't. And what about nutrition wise? Like, what have you tried, like diet wise? Have you tried much? Like all the other women in our program have tried like every diet.
Yeah, I tried everything. I've tried everything that Craig suggested. I thought, if I'm paying the money that I'm paying for advice, I'm going to take that advice. Whether it's right or wrong, I'm going to do it. Just try it, see what happens. And it worked. And I'm like, oh my goodness. And I just responded really quickly. So Craig's like, yeah, eat liver every day. I'm like,
the beautiful liver. But what did you try previously though? Had you tried many diets previously?
No, none, because I wasn't a big believer in diet. I just thought, oh yeah, I'm having a balanced diet. I'm eating as healthily as I can. And I didn't realize that I could actually do just a bit more and actually weigh how much I'm eating.
Yeah, like track and measure. Yeah, I think it's it gives you just a really good base, I think, and you can really work out what's causing what. And I think it educates you as well. Like a lot of women come into our program and they'll track and measure to start with. And once they get to a good place, then they'll move to more mindful or instinctive eating. But I think it just really builds that knowledge base. So talk about the improvements that you've seen since starting the program.
So I thought initially that I had an intolerance to dairy, which I guess on some level I still do, obviously depending on the dairy products, but it was that education behind it. Like try different types of milk. So I thought, because Craig said, oh, I take A2 milk. I'm like, what the fuck's A2 milk? Then I went and found it. Who cares about A2 milk, A1 milk? I tried it anyway. So, and I tried different types of milk, see what works for you. And I can tolerate other types of milk, but not as well as I can tolerate A2 milk. So I went and did a bit of reading behind that, and I thought, well, this is great. I used to, and this was really embarrassing, in my full uniform, I would be on all fours crying and snot be coming out my nose because I was having terrible abdominal pain. Like I'd be in the middle of doing something in the office and then people would just see me bolt to the toilet. And I'm like, no, I can't speak to you, sorry. Can't go to the loo. And I'd be there crying. And even at home, I get people, my own colleagues, because I'd be too embarrassed to ring an ambulance crew to come around and get me. I'd ring my own colleagues and say, look, can you bring the drugs around and just give me some more food because I'm in such pain? And they would, and they'd end up taking me to hospital. And I haven't had that for the last however long I've been with you. I have not had any episodes of abdominal pain due to dairy because Craig's like, no, okay, so try Parmesan cheese. Here's the particular Parmesan cheese. I downloaded all your nutrition stuff, everything, your recipes, the whole lot. I downloaded it. I'm trying it all. I'm a terrible cook. And it's working. So I can have Parmesan cheese. I never thought I'd be able to eat cheese again. I never thought I'd be able to have milk again. I just thought I'd have to drink fucking rice milk for the rest of my life. It's just cardboard. I just thought it'd be more nutritious just eating fucking cardboard. Yeah.
So it is amazing, and I think dairy is so demonized by the fitness industry, and people are just like, oh, I've got an intolerance to dairy, so cut it out. Whereas it usually is there's an underlying issue that you can fix, and then most people can tolerate dairy again in time once they've worked on fixing those issues. Yeah. What about your energy? Because you talked about your energy before.
Well, the energy's picked up. I don't know, whatever the diet's done. I had eczema. I had eczema everywhere, all over my ass. It just looked really nasty. And I was too afraid to wear togs and everything like that because it's not that I was afraid to wear togs. I really didn't give a fuck, but I just thought, this looks really nasty. And it's all cleared up. Everything has cleared up in the last 12 weeks. And people have even noticed my eyes. They're like, your eyes are really bright. I'm like, oh, yeah, I don't feel like a zombie anymore. I don't come home. I can get up super early and I can actually last throughout the day and we're working super late and I've got energy because I'm drinking a shitload of orange juice, which I've never really had a problem with. But I thought, oh, there's a lot of sugar. I didn't know I could have so much sweet stuff. It's not rotting my teeth. This is great.
It's crazy how once you just eat real food, like you put the right nutrients into your body and more food, and it's not, when you say the right nutrients, it's not fuck tons of broccoli and seeds and nuts and all the things that people think are superfoods. It's quite incredible. Hey.
Yeah, I haven't had broccoli and I'm not disappointed about that.
Me too. And what about the training? What's happened in regards to the training?
Oh yeah, that went a bit downhill. I was actually really upset with myself. I was really hoping I'd be able to be lifting weights by now, like properly lifting weights. But every time I went to lift that bar on the shoulders, I'd be getting a twang in my back. But it's made me go to my specialist, get another MRI, find out that there's actually nothing wrong with my back. It's probably all in my head, and I've got to get rid of that. But I was getting pain every time I was going to the gym, and praise God.
Yeah.
No, if you're doing anything that's causing any pain, you've got to stop. And we'll just go back to the normal exercise. And I thought, oh, fuck, I failed this program. It's not working. And I told him I was lying on the floor the other day crying like a baby because I couldn't do anything. I was in so much pain. But he was right. I just went back to the simple exercises, went back to the core exercises, and they've been helping.
Yeah. You just got to build on it, on the basics, I think, and build it up again. Yeah, you'll get back there. You will. It will happen. Yeah. You just got to take it slow. I don't cry, by the way. I'm not a crier. Yeah. I was going, fuck, this has got me beat. I can't do this. But there's nothing wrong with my back. So what am I doing? Mental. Yeah, you'll get there. And like, can you ever imagine going back to like eating how you were before? Like now that you got all your energy and you're eating your liver and you're drinking your A2 milk and your juice.
I like the way that food is making me feel, but don't get me wrong. Every time I see a blueberry muffin or a chocolate biscuit, if I'm feeling particularly hungry, I think, you know what? I'm going to eat it. I don't go back totally to the way that I was, not really worried about what sort of food I'm eating and just eating what everybody else is eating. Because if I ate what everybody else ate, I'd be looking like everybody else. And I haven't lost weight as such. I've just lost it in areas I didn't think I'd lose it. Like I still got my little bit of a pot tummy, but that's okay. I can talk. I can see. I'm happy with that. No, I can't imagine going back to eating the fuck tons of crap that I was eating when I was on the road. It's just so easy to grab a bag of chips when there's nothing else open at 2-3 o'clock in the morning. And I think that's probably what got me unstuck in the first place. You can be as organised as you like, but, if you're working a 12 to 14-hour shift and you're not getting a proper breaks, which none of us do, it's really difficult. It's really easy to fall into that category of just eating whatever there is out there. You go through all your healthy food and then at 4 o'clock, you've still got 2 hours to go. You're still fucking freezing cold in the winter because, you're cold, you're using up all your reserves and you're hungry. So you just eat whatever shit's out there.
Yeah.
But no, it's made me a whole lot more organised, and I just sit there at this thing, I'm going, oh, for fuck's sake, I can't believe how long this is taking me to make all this stuff. I've got no room in my freezer to store everything. What the fuck am I going to do with all this food? But it's making me more organised. And I'll take it to work and everybody will go, oh, that looks healthy. What is it? And I'll go, it's liver. And they're like, ooh.
The old liver, the liver and the oysters, the nature's multivitamins. You don't need to take supplements. It's amazing. But the liver just is amazing. Like it truly is, I think, a superfood. People are like, oh God, it's only 100 grams a week. It's nothing. It's like 3 mouthfuls.
I had no idea how many calories was in it too, and I just thought, it was all I can afford to eat at the moment because it's nice and cheap over here. So I made shitloads of it.
Of the pate. Of the pate.
324 calories. I fucking eat it.
It's beautiful. I love the pate too. And some of the main objections we get in the program from women is number one is time. They're like, I don't have time to do this. Now you are very time poor. What would you say to that?
I would say work out what your priorities are. What do you really want to do? Do you really want to be healthy? Do you really want to build muscle? What do you really want to do? And do what you need to do to get there. You will find the time. I know there's only 24 hours in every day, and it's all very well for me to speak because I haven't got kids. I haven't got 4 kids running around wanting my attention every day, but I'm pretty sure
Mm.
that you can find time, even if it's just an hour, to do something and tick it off the list. I make a list. I'm a big list person, and I put my important priorities at the top and the less important priorities at the bottom. Just tick it off as you go, and then there's like a real sense of achievement. Even if you haven't got everything done, do something.
Yeah,
You don't
totally.
have to be perfect.
Of course, it's fail forward. Remember, we always fail forward. Progression, and that's totally right. And I think you're right. It's what's a priority. If you want to feel better and be healthier and improve your life, then you have to just make the time. But you managed to fit it in, working a full-time job, and you run your own business.
And I travel around the country and teach. I'm never home. You got to do it, and you can always find a way of doing it. And, it doesn't matter if you're hungry and someone offers you that piece of cake and you haven't had time to make your lunch order, just fucking eat it and then go and walk it off later, I
mean, it's just, I think where women go wrong is that they, like if you go off your plan and you eat something, just have it and then just go back to eating your normal food. Like I used to I'd be like, I'd restrict massively and then I'd eat one thing off it and then I'd have a massive binge. Whereas now, every now and then, like I'll eat something, then I'm like, oh, that's not the greatest, but like I'll just cop feeling a bit crappy and then I'll just eat my next meal straight after. Like no one's ever perfect, and it depends on your goals and if you have any issues like digestive issues and things like that. But it's not about being perfect. I think it's just about improving week to week. Don't
waste time feeling guilty about it.
Oh, God, no. That just stops you from moving forward. Absolutely. And the second objection we get is money. So, do you feel like that the money you invested in this program was worth it?
When I think about it, don't get me wrong, I did struggle. I struggled right towards the end because normally the money that I would invest in healthy food and things like that was what I was investing in the program. But I kind of work two ways, because for me this is about my job, it's about my life, it's about my career, and if I don't sort my back out, then I won't be able to hold on to my job for very long. They won't tolerate that for long, so I've got to do something about it. So that was me investing in my career and my future still, and in my life. So however much I spent on this program was worth every cent, because I've got energy, I'm starting, I've got the correct advice. I can tell, because when you've gone through other avenues and then we compare them to you, it's the correct advice. You're not saying this is what you must do. You're saying try this, see what happens, come back if it doesn't work. No, this is about my future. This is about my career. I don't want to be some 80-year-old in a wheelchair. And when you look at it that way, for me, I've had real injuries and I've had some intolerances as well. So, you've sorted out my diet. You've given me the freedom to find out what works, what doesn't work. You've been there every step of the way. And I think that's probably really important, that you have actually really encouraged people to message you if there's a problem, and you get back straight away. So you've already built that trust. And just the weekly meetings and everything like that is just like been real support behind it. So when you compare that to what people are paying for the program, I think you probably put in double what I've paid. So,
and what about because the next one is that and you're all the way over in New Zealand, obviously, so you're a long way away. It's completely online, this program. If a woman was thinking, oh God, I'm not sure if I can make this work being online, what would you say to that?
I would say that you guys have tried everything you can to work around everybody else's timetables. I don't know how you do it, because there were some days that didn't work for me. Sometimes it didn't work for me, and all I'd do is just text you and say, hey, I can't make it today. Is there another time or whatever? And you were completely flexible. So there's really no excuse. You guys must know what all the excuses are, and you work around it to make sure that there are no excuses. So yeah, in terms of excuses, there are none, really.
And what about, finally, if a woman was sitting on the fence and wondering whether or not she should do the program, what advice would you give her?
I guess it depends on what her reasons are for doing the program. Like, my reasons are I wanted to get out of bed and not have any pain in my back and in my feet when I get out of bed. And that was probably what was making me so exhausted every single day, was the pain. I would say do it. Just try it. And if it's really not working for you, then I'm sure you guys are reasonable. I'm sure you'll probably figure out some sort of solution, but just try it. There's no, if you don't try it, then you don't know what you're missing out on, I guess.
Yeah, totally. And I think a lot of women are like, oh, because it's so different, obviously, to anything out there in the fitness industry. It's like the opposite. You know, don't eat green vegetables, eat sugar, you know, don't do cardio, lift weights. But, you know, if the typical fitness industry, eat less, do more worked, then women wouldn't be as, as miserable and as fat and just going around in circles as they are. I think, you know, it's sort of like, what's the definition of insanity? Doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result.
Different results.
Yeah. So no, that's sorry.
Yeah, I think, and everybody's different. And what I found when I had help from Craig was that he was trying to figure out what worked best for me, because you guys are well aware that, you know, if people can't stick to the same program and hope that, you know, everyone's going to get the same results, because everybody's different. So you are totally tailoring your program to suit everybody's individual needs.
Yeah, I think we follow like the principles and guidelines are the same, but then it's about working within the guidelines to find the optimal, you know, nutrition for you that's going to work with your lifestyle, with your body, and working through any issues you have in testing and measuring. But we've worked with heaps of clients now, so we've just about seen it all, I think. You know, so, but
I would have to say probably one of the main things that I have noticed, and I don't know why or how this has happened, but I used to get terrible, terrible, painful periods, and I would say probably most women would put their hands up to that and go, yeah, that's me. And I've had laparoscopies, no one's found anything. They found fibroids, and yeah, they fucking hurt. But I used to get nasty clotting. I used to bleed for weeks. I was on the pill, then I was taken off the pill. And I'm sure a lot of women have found that too. You know, when you're on the pill, of course, you get bloating and all the rest of that. I had wonderful skin while I was on the pills. It's probably the only thing I'd recommend it for. Everyone go, oh, you've got nice, such soft skin. I go, oh, yeah, I'm on the pill. But, yeah, I've found now that my periods have never been regular, and they're still not really, but at 43 years old I've only just stopped getting the pain, the terrible pain that I used to. I was on oxynorm, everything you could possibly imagine for painful periods, and now, you know, I might take a couple of Panadol, might take a couple of Brufen, makes it fucking worse. Don't take Brufen because you just bleed, stop it. But it does help with the pain. So I bleed normally, no clots, no dark blood at all, so it's all normal, nice, fresh blood.
It's really common though. We have so many women come just from diet and lifestyle, they become estrogen dominant, and then with the dietary changes, they're like, it's just so common. I mean, you see it all the time. You see women posting a page, oh my God, I just got my period for the first time and it's pain-free, and it only lasted 3 days, you know, like minimal pain. And it's crazy too. Like, you think you've tried all those different things, the pill, and all it was you just needed to change your diet. Like, I mean, obviously that's not the case for everyone. There are some people that have, you know, more serious
they'll continue to for whatever reason.
Yeah, but the majority of women that come into our program, like, they come in with those issues and they come out the other side and their period's regular and pain-free, which is just so awesome. So no, that was really awesome. Thank you so much for spending the time with me today and sharing that with the viewers. And if you're a woman and you're watching this and, you know, it resonated with you and you just, you know, want to, I guess, have a better quality of life, and, you know, break free from some of those issues around, you know, diets or pain or training, click on the link below and put in an application to work with us, and we'll jump on the phone and we'll see if our program's actually a good fit for you or not. Because we don't want to work with everyone. We just want to work with those women that we can actually help. So thanks again, Anthea. I know you're probably like ridiculously busy. You probably, even though I know you got a day off, you'll be working in your business. So thanks again, and I'll see you in the group.
Okay.
Okay, cool. All right. Bye.
Thanks.
Bye.